As of 2010, there were over 6 million foreign-born residents in Spain, corresponding to 14% of the total population. Of these, 4.1 million were born outside the European Union and 2.3 million were born in another EU member state. Because of its location in the Iberian Peninsula, the Canary Islands and two exclaves in northern Africa, the territory comprising modern Spain has always been at the crossroads of human migration, having harboured many waves of historical immigration. The Spanish Empire, one of the first global empires and one of the largest in the world, spanned all inhabited continents, and throughout the years people from these lands emigrated to Spain in varying numbers. In migration terms and after centuries of net emigration, Spain has recently experienced large-scale immigration for the first time in modern history. According to the Spanish government, there were 5,598,691 foreign residents in January 2010. Of these, well over 1.5 million were from Latin America, 750,000 were Moroccan, while immigrants and expatriates from the European Union member states amounted more than 2 million. Chinese are estimated to number 145,425, while Southeast Asian groups such as Filipinos or Euro, whose country was a former Spanish possession Euro, created a small community in Spain. Immigrants from several sub-Saharan African countries have also settled in Spain as contract workers, although they represent only 4.08% of all the foreign residents in the country. The population of Spain doubled during the 20th century due to the spectacular demographic boom in the 1960s and early 1970s. The birth rate then plunged by the 1980s, and Spain's population became stagnant, its demographics showing one of the lowest sub-replacement fertility rate in the world. During the early 21st century, the average year-on-year demographic growth set a new record with its 2003 peak variation of 2.1%, doubling the previous record reached back in the 1960s when a mean year-on-year growth of 1% was experienced. This trend is far from being reversed at the present moment and, in 2005 alone, the immigrant population of Spain increased by 700,000 people. Currently, according to the Spanish government, there were 5.6 million foreign residents in Spain in 2010. Independent estimates put the figure 14% of total population. According to the official 2011 census data, almost 800,000 were Romanian, 774,000 were Moroccan, 317,000 were Ecuadorian, 312,000 were British and 250,000 were Colombian. 12. Other important foreign communities are Bolivian, German, Italian, Bulgarian, Chinese and Argentine. In 2005, a regularization program increased the legal immigrant population by 700,000 people. Since 2000, Spain has experienced high population growth as a result of immigration flows, despite a birth rate that is only half of the replacement level. This sudden and ongoing inflow of immigrants, particularly those arriving clandestinely by sea, has caused noticeable social tensions. According to Eurostat, in 2010, there were 6.4 million foreign-born residents in Spain, corresponding to 14.0% of the total population. Of these, 4.1 million were born outside the EU and 2.3 million were born in another EU member state. As of 2005, Spain had the second highest immigration rates within the EU, just after Cyprus, and the second highest absolute net migration in the world. This can be explained by a number of reasons, including its geographical position, the porosity of its borders, the large size of its underground economy and the strength of the agricultural and construction sectors, which demand more low-cost labor than can be offered by the national workforce. In fact, booming Spain was Europe's largest absorber of migrants from 2002 to 2007, with its immigrant population more than doubling as 2.5 million people arrived. Over 920,000 immigrants arrived in Spain during 2007, on top of the 802,971 new arrivals in 2006, 682,711 new arrivals in 2005, and 645,844 new arrivals in 2004. Although the number of immigrants in Spain, officially, is smaller than that of other countries in the EU, the following data should be taken into consideration. Immigrants from countries belonging to the former Spanish Empire can obtain Spanish nationality after legal and continuous residence of 2 years in Spain, after which naturalized citizens are no longer counted as immigrants. In order to avoid statelessness, Spain automatically grants Spanish nationality to the children of immigrants born in Spain whose parents' nationality of origin is not transferred just sanguinis upon their child's birth abroad. Unlike other countries of the EU that do not do it. It is for this reason that although the Latin American immigrants of origin are most numerous, the Romanians or the Moroccans surpass them in the official statistics. In the same way the majority of children born in Spain between 2000 and 2010 are children of immigrants despite not counting as such. Considering these data, there are sectors of Spanish society who oppose immigration that affirm the real number of immigrants in Spain is 11 million, or about 25% of the total population. As for other nationalities than Spanish-speaking, in order to stay in Spain for more than 3 months, it's required a residence card, residence visa or work permit. Immigrants from the European Union make up a growing proportion of immigrants in Spain. The main countries of origin are Romania, the United Kingdom, Germany, Italy, and Bulgaria. The British authorities estimate that the real population of UK citizens living in Spain is much bigger than Spanish official figures suggest, establishing them at about 1 million, about 800,000 being permanent residents. Of these, according to the BBC and contrary to popular belief, only about 21.5% are over the age of 65. In fact, according to the Financial Times, Spain is the most favoured destination for West Europeans considering to move from their own country and seek jobs elsewhere in the EU. Major immigration: European Union member states are indicated with the EU flag in regional European subdivisions. 2007 dates: 13, 14, 2011, INE, 2013 dates: 15. From other countries are Europe. European Union member states are indicated with the EU flag in regional European subdivisions. From other countries are Euro-Africa, source, 16. From other countries are Euro-Central America. From other countries are Euro-North America. From other countries are Euro-Asia. From other countries are Euro-Oceania. Comparison with other countries from European Union. According to Eurostat, 47.3 million people lived in the European Union in 2010 who were born outside their resident country. This corresponds to 9.4% of the total EU population. Of these, 31.4 million were born outside the EU and 16.0 million were born in another EU member state. The largest absolute numbers of people born outside the EU were in Germany, France, the United Kingdom, Spain, Italy, and the Netherlands. Irregular migration. Irregular migration to Spain is the act of foreign nationals entering Spain, without government permission and in violation of the given nationality law, or staying beyond the termination date of a visa, also in violation of the law. In order to deal with the overwhelming numbers of illegal immigrants, the government has initiated an amnesty in 2005 to reduce the problem. Some critics believe this will only encourage chain migration. See also: Immigration to Europe, list of countries by immigrant population, list of sovereign states and dependent territories by fertility rate. References. External links: Assisa Teranga, Association Cube d'Indian Migrants Senegaleses Residents en Corée +/- A.